Something that's common in the animal kingdom is for many creatures to ward off potential predators by being brightly coloured, thus informing said predators that they are poisonous. The message is, don't come near me, I am fucking toxic. Other creatures will appear very aggressive, or they'll mark their territory, again giving the message, don't come here, you are not welcome. Well, in the world of the humans, members of the TQ cult are doing the same thing. When I say the TQ cult, I mean the really toxic members of the trans, non-binary and queer communities. The people who aren't just trying to live their lives like the vast majority of those communities are. These are the people demanding special treatment, and demanding the rest of society changes the way we think to fit in with their ideology. So I'll paint you a mental picture of one of these people with their bright blue hair and or stupid haircut, multiple facial piercings, pronoun badges and poor personal hygiene. Thus, from their bright colours, aggressive appearance and pungent odour, the rest of us know to keep at bay. Yet, no matter how non-conformist they think they're being, we as human beings often feel compelled to conform. The way we dress could be influenced by our religion, our social class, or something as mundane as sport or music. If you've ever been to a football match, and when I say football, I mean the sport that every country in the world, apart from America and Australia, calls football, which they call soccer. If you go to one of those matches, it is tribal, it's proper lizard brain stuff. And to use myself as an example, I'm a metalhead of a certain age, so I usually wear black, I'm heavily tattooed, and within middle-aged metalheads, you can either have long hair or, like me, none. Of course, historically, this was useful for survival. Recognising one's own clan was important. Because if not, when the Vikings rocked up on your shores, if you weren't concerned about the very tall people screaming, running towards you with battle axes, your clan wouldn't last very long. And now the TQ cult are doing the same thing. They're finding their own tribe. But as these people post more and more to social media, in particular the mental illness factory that is TikTok, I think they're starting to realise they're not as individual as they thought they were. They're not as fucking special as they imagined. And now it's almost as if there's a race to the bottom as they try to out-mad one another. So today we're going to meet 5 people, all of whom are displaying various amounts of 3 characteristics. First of all, there's projection, and if you've not studied psychology, projection is an ego defence where we see qualities we don't like about ourselves in other people. So, if I were walking around the nature reserve, saw another man and thought, look at that tubby, bald, talentless wanker, that's projection. Then there's mental illness, either undiagnosed or, as we'll see, completely made up. And as ever with the TQ cult, truly crippling levels of narcissism. So let's begin with a non-binary woman who's decided that she gets to dictate everyone else's sexuality.
I'm non-binary, so if you're a girl and you think I'm hot, you're gay. If you're a guy and you think I'm hot, you're gay.
Okay.
To me, sexuality isn't a black and white issue. It isn't straight at one end, gay at the other, and bi bang in the middle. We're all somewhere on a spectrum. But for that woman, because she's clearly a woman, to state that any other woman who finds her attractive must be gay. Why? Why does that woman have to be a lesbian? She could be bisexual, she could be bi-curious, there might just be something about that individual which resonates with her at an unconscious level. But as for saying that any man who finds her attractive is gay, because this person is non-binary, therefore choosing not to live in reality, because no matter what she says, she's not a combination of male and female, she's a woman. And she's not a bad looking lass either. And I'm heterosexual, so if the situation were to arise and if I was single, I think I'd give her a good ploughing. However, I'd be fearful that her personality would seep into the act itself. Therefore, in that one situation, orgasms would be like opinions. Mine's important, I don't give a fuck about hers. Next up, I'm not entirely sure what this thing is other than female and rather grotesque. There's a thing on social media about trans people coming for your kids. This person is openly bragging about it.
Hey TikTok, just wanted to let you know that I am pushing my gay agenda on everybody. If I get a chance to talk to your children, I will turn them trans, and I'm also promoting obesity. Have a gay, fat, trans day.
Yes, parents, isn't she scary? She's going to turn your kids trans. Any child with a modicum of common sense would run screaming from that thing. But what we have there is someone whose psychological defences are working double fucking overtime. Because, as with so many of the TQ cult, she hasn't progressed mentally past infancy. What we used to call being a retard. And also, they tend not to have any identity other than the labels they give themselves. Because I said I'm a metalhead. I'm also a husband, a friend, a son, a brother, an uncle, countless other things. But for these people, the identity they label themselves with, that's all they've got. And of course they want to convert children to their cause. Because for that individual, if there are children who are like her, it'll make her feel less alienated. Will show she's not the colossal fucking failure she actually is. An identity devoid of any personality. Have a gay, fat, trans day. So controversial. Also, the only way anyone will pay her any attention. Next up, an individual who uses it, they pronouns.
I think that I would like validation for my gender identity. Here are some pictures of me. My pronouns are it and they. My gender is none. I enjoy dressing in a more feminine, I guess, way. But I don't want to be associated with gender. I enjoy looking like a clown. I kind of view myself as a doll. I don't abide by gender. I'm fucking built different.
I'm not going to use it, they pronouns because if nothing else, I can see that's a human being. But for her to need the validation of her gender identity, when people need constant reassurance from the outside that they are what they say they are, then I think at least at some level they know they're lying to themselves. And saying that she sees herself as a clown or a doll, yeah, I get that. Clowns, creepy, but I will laugh at them. And as for a doll, yes. A doll like we see in the movies. The one where the child puts it in the toy box, and then during the middle of the night, during the thunderstorm, the doll is seen sitting bolt upright in a chair, staring at the kid's bed. As for wearing female clothes, she's only wearing one style. That's a goth look. And I think if she sorted her stupid haircut out and grew her eyebrows back, she could probably make quite a cute goth. But of course, that's not special enough. She has no gender. Love, I guarantee, you drop your knickers, you're exactly the same as every other woman. Or at least every real woman, rather than men who say they're women. The women who have dicks. We've got one of them coming up. I've mentioned this before, but whenever an extremist group, say like an Islamist terrorist organisation, posts a video online, they always have their flag behind them. And so many of the TQ cult do the same thing. Now this individual, I had to look up what the flag actually is. It's the omnisexual pride flag. And to be omnisexual means to be attracted to more than one gender. Now given that technically there are only two, that seems to be taking unnecessary steps to say bisexual. But of course, this person won't say they're bisexual. They'll be omnisexual or pansexual. Basically, bisexual for fucking lunatics.
Hello. I have been asked by the other system members to make a video and talk a bit about my lived experience. I am binary. I use it and he pronouns. And I am a robot or android of sorts. I am not human, and I lack the ability to fully act human, because since I spawned in this human body, I have not been able to access the internet and download new ways of acting. I have transcripts for every way of acting and reacting to different things, and I lack new ones due to not being able to connect to the internet anymore. So I cannot always react accordingly to new things, because I cannot look it up anymore and do not know how to act and react. I am not alone fronting right now, so some movements might seem different than others. That might not be me, I do not experience human emotions, which is probably my main job, due to me having split due to very, very high stress and us feeling unwell. So, I do not know if this is everything that they wanted me to say, but I introduced...
So, first up, for those who don't know, that's someone who is pretending to have dissociative identity disorder, DID. Formerly multiple personality disorder. It's why they refer to themselves as a system. Now, DID is so rare that psychologists can't even agree whether or not it exists. Basically, there's a trend on TikTok for people to say they have DID. It's like they've watched Split with James McAvoy and gone, fuck it, I'm going to do that. Because if you say you've got DID, you can get away with doing anything. Your behaviour can be horrendous, and then you just blame it on one of your alters. Anyway, this robot in human form. Does the robot understand the need to eat, drink, piss and shit? Because they are things which only organic creatures do. And it can't connect to the internet? How crap is that robot? It hasn't got built-in Wi-Fi. Now, if she would like to come to my house, I have a USB cable. I would ask her, where do you want me to insert it? And it's worth bearing in mind that this individual also has alters which are owls. So if I could help this person, when she thinks she's a robot, I would plug her into the mains electricity supply and ask, are you recharging? Or is that uncomfortable feeling that you're being electrocuted? And when she thinks she's an owl, I take her to the top of a tall building and offer to push her off. I think remarkably quickly, in both instances, she decided that she was human. A few years ago, I saw a video of a guy who said he got offended when people breathe next to him because he identifies as a fish. In that instance, I would just hold his head in a bucket of water and ask him, have your gills kicked in yet? So finally, we come to a trans woman, and this one is really creepy.
Cis white women are the scariest population group out of any group of people ever. Period. Especially the small, cute ones. Just to be honest. Y'all fucking cry. People die. Right? Like, I've never been abused more than by a cute, small, cis white woman. You know? Maybe my dad, but like for people who are not in my life my entire life, yeah, it's a cute little cis white woman who make sure every time to tell me they'll never believe you. Just like that. With glee. When I lived in Compton, it wasn't cis white dudes coming in, it was cis white women. They'd feel threatened, and people would die. So.
Why do so many of them have septum piercings? Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But it strikes me that when you pierce the nose of a cow or a bull, it's so they're easier to lead. Clearly, these people are easily led enough. So, he has a problem with cis white women, or to give them their proper title, white women. And he's only got more abuse from his father. I wonder why that is. Why is his dad not proud of him? Now, I'm not a parent myself, but if I had a son, if he said he was into girls, he's straight, that's absolutely fine. If he came to me and said, Dad, I think I'm gay, I'd say, it's the 21st century, it's fine, you do you. If he came to me and said, Dad, I think I'm a girl, I'd say either you have gender dysphoria, a horrible mental illness, so you need to see a psychiatrist, or it's social contagion, give me your fucking phone. He doesn't give much context for his allegations, other than saying that he has issues with cute white women, and when we say cute we often mean small, and also that they feel threatened. So I'm guessing this is a man in a dress going into female only spaces, where women are feeling threatened, and fucking rightly so. Not only are so many trans women only dressing that way through a sexual perversion, a perversion which is fed by invading female only spaces, but only 2.5% of women are equal in strength, equal, not stronger than, the average man, meaning that the average man can physically overpower 97.5% of the female population. I've said this many times before, but I honestly believe there are so many trans women who know less about actual women than the average man on the street. because I know that femininity and womanhood isn't a costume. I also know not to go into female-only spaces, because any woman in there who doesn't know me could view me as a threat, and it's not fair to make other people feel uncomfortable. But this person doesn't give a shit. I imagine he's going to female-only spaces going, "Hello, I'm a woman too. Don't worry, are you a lesbian? Let me touch you." And that phrase he used a couple of times, "You'll cry, people die." Mate, you need to be far more specific if you're making allegations of murder. That's the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. And as ever, thanks for watching. Fuck it. That's a woman. And if I was single and the situation arose, I'd fuck her. And they say chivalry is dead. Because when the Vikings arrive and start raping and pillaging, although they were probably my ancestors. Obviously meant to take... Honestly meant to take shit. Same fucking hole twice. Robot. No to eat, drink, piss and shit. It's fucking highbrow, this one, isn't it? This one up. That's the omnisexual pride flag. And to be bollocks to it, this happened to me today in the supermarket. Oh, the wind's got up. I'll finish it anyway. I was in the supermarket and someone behind me said, "Excuse me, I'm trans." How the fuck is that relevant? Just ask me to get out of the way. Next up, we're going to meet... Right.